Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Ben with the Tiger's Den, grabbing the wrong thing, pulling everything all over the place. Oh god, what's going on? Okay, I think we're back to... Nope, there... Man, something's going on right now with my mouse and the things I'm trying to grab. There we go, let's put that over here. Alright, I think we're good. Hey everyone, how's it going? We're back here in the world of Maj'Eyal tonight. Going to be playing some more of our Doombringer, Eilhna, the Cornac Doombringer who fell out of the sky from a meteor and now is killing some bears and some trolls. And generally just, having a good time doing as you do in the world of Eyal. Basically doing a genocide run, killing every living thing in the world. Of course, not really. There's some nice people in this world that we don't want to kill. Although, the end game of this game is often to kill everyone, because once you finish the game, you can still run around the world, and what is there to do other than find all of the super powerful NPCs, and, well, usually they beat the snot out of you, but at least fight the good fight. So, for those of you who missed this, so this is Tome, Tales of Maj'Eyal, aka Tome 4. It's a long story about why the 4 is there, and there's either no 3 or no 2, but there is a 1, but it doesn't have a 1 in it. It's just called Tome, and it was Tales of Middle-earth back in the day. Anyway, but yeah, cool old, contemporary but hardcore traditional roguelike. We are playing this lady over here. We are a Doombringer, which is a kind of demon-infused warrior, sent to... supposed to be sent down here to kill everyone that lives here, but we're just going to be killing like 99% of them and leaving the friendly NPCs alive to the chagrin of the demons that sent us down here. So we cleared out the starting zone. We cleared out the lair of Norgos, which you get kind of just ported to like a random tier 1 zone after you finish the Doombringer starting zone. So, we're right by Chatur now, the wood elf home. So let's do a little shopping to start out. See what sorts of things we have. Well, actually, first, what are we wearing? I think we found almost nothing worthwhile. Yeah, so like maximum stamina. These give strength, I think. Yeah, that's okay. This is an acidic. We've got this nice helm. That's like our entire item budget so far has been finding this helm. So I was considering doing some Mythgard today, since I've done that the last couple Tuesdays, but I thought since we had a character alive here in Tome, we might as well bring her back up and, see how it goes. Probably won't last too long, because got a nice little poem here. Characters in this game tend to die very quickly, especially when you're streaming and not paying a whole lot of attention, and you're playing on a difficulty that you haven't played very often in a game that you haven't played in like a year and a half. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, so do we have anything great here? Well, okay, so we've got an infusion here that will heal us. This will heal us for 164 over 5 turns. It has a cooldown of 14 seconds, and it will scale up with our magic, which we're pumping a lot. We're not putting much into Constitution right now, so these healing infusions, since they scale off Constitution, won't scale as quickly. It is a good bit better than the one that's in here, so it might be worth spending the money on it anyways. So I'll just put a little. This one's got a 10-second cooldown, which is why this one's nice. So I'll use my little nifty, handy-dandy shopping list add-on to mark that for me. And I'm actually going to put this Soothing Totem of Healing on here too. So that's interesting because it heals for 34, also healing for 36. The reason that I'm interested in this isn't for the fact that it heals us, because we already have 2 things that heal us and 2 things that shield us. What we really want that for is for the ability to, if need be, heal a friendly escort. So if we need to escort someone, they start taking damage, then we have a way of healing them, which only a couple classes can get intrinsically. Alright, so this is actually a pretty big upgrade over what we have right now. It's just like a 8 through 13 damage upgrade. You can hold on control to compare. So this is the same thing as what we have now, but it also has the of Massacre ego, so it's extra damage. This one deals extra... Yeah, it's alright. Flaming Iron Greatsword of Projection. The thing is that I usually don't like spending money on iron stuff, tier 1 stuff, because it gets obsoleted pretty quickly. And there are things like infusions and stuff like that that often hold their value for longer. So sometimes you find something amazing and you just kind of want it regardless, but I think in this case I'm just going to mark those things on the shopping list. And then, let's see. I think I'll head over here to Dearth, see what they have to offer. Okay, Duelist, that's not very good for us. This is a worse Healing Infusion of the Titan. Ooh, Healing Infusion of the Warrior. So this one heals for a lot more, and it scales off of a stat that's really good for us, but it has a 15-second cooldown, so it's 50% longer than that last one. And part of what you get off of the Healing Infusions is that they cure some statuses, some like damage over time statuses, which the amount, like they never cure more for having a better ego. So the only thing that matters in terms of curing your egos is how often you can use them. So 50% longer cooldown is actually a big problem for that. So probably gonna skip that. Let's go chat with the alchemist here. If you missed before, there are these alchemists that are scattered all over the place. They give you a quest to find some just like random stuff off of monsters that you killed. Usually you can't complete them very early in the game until like the mid or a little past the mid game, because it's random what they take. But each one gives you 3 things that you can choose. And yeah, this one they're generally the worst for most classes. But you might as well pick it up and see when and if you can complete it. So let's see. So this one is going to take Hummer Hornman. Those are pretty easy to find. Stormworm Claw. That's going to be a while. And an Iceworm Tooth. So we can probably complete this one before the halfway point if we make it that far, of course. So let's do our arena thing. So here's this guy. He brings us to the arena. We kill a couple of dudes. This guy is a ranged dude, so we're going to pull him towards us, and then he pushes us away, so we'll charge him, and then hit him, and he gets away again, which is really obnoxious, but we have... Ooh, we can't... Not in range for that one. Where did he... Oh, there he is. Get back here. Okay, we can just use Abduct again. That'll do it. Oh, it seemed like a little bit of a... Oh, actually, no, he just charged us after we pulled. Okay, so second guy spawns. Shouldn't be too much of an issue here. I'll hit my Regeneration Infusion just to make sure that we're staying nice and topped off here and get that cooldown rolling. This guy's also ranged, so I'm actually going to move this to over here, and I'll put this one here. This guy's an Arcane Blade, so we want to close on him. But we have no gap closers at the moment. But, yeah, we can just walk up to him, auto-attack him down, get our achievement. And then we get our 2 generic talent points. So let's see, where were we on the talent point tree? We just put another point to combat accuracy and heavy armor training, because we want to be able to use massive armor, and combat accuracy because we were missing things a lot. So I'm skipping this tree this time because it takes so many points to really get to the point, and takes a long time to get it to the point where it's really being super helpful. So this one gives us a 6% damage increase that goes down as we spend our resources. This is just a... that's a 14% increase to our weapon damage, which is most of our damage. So I'm going to put a point into there. We could start going up this tree. But again, this is one that takes a lot of points, and the ones that we're putting things into right now are abilities that you can get a lot of value out of 1 or 2 points. So I'm actually going to go up to just getting our heavy armor. This also, you can see it gives us armor value and armor hardiness. Armor value is the straight amount that your damage is reduced by. and armor hardiness is the maximum percentage of the damage that can be reduced. So you want them both to go up, and the further they both go up, the better. Oh, and also this gives you crit reduction, or crit chance reduction, which is nice. And then with 3 points, we get to wear massive plate armor. We haven't found any massive plate armor yet that we want, but we're already getting good things out of this, just passively. So I like putting that in there. Spend all of our points. And so let's actually go over this way and try to find the semi-random event that occurs over here by the fields. There we go. There are some of these events that you want to trigger earlier or later. This is the Cursed Lumberjack quest, and I find that unless you want to go for the completionist save everyone, which most classes can't even do, I usually just like doing it as soon as possible. Alright, there's our enemy. How can we see him? It looks like he should be... Oh, I guess he is just range 10. Okay, that's normal vision range. It looks like one of the lumberjacks spawned a... Is that a temporal clone? Yeah, so one of the lumberjacks spawned with like hero levels somehow. Alright, can we abduct through someone? We cannot. Nor can we charge. Well, that's really obnoxious. Okay. People are out of our way now, so we can... I think we're just going to lead with charge here. And then if we end up getting pushed away, we can abduct him back into us. Yeah, and see, this guy's going down pretty easily. This guy actually, from my understanding, he scales up faster than a lot of heroes do. So it's actually safest to take him out earlier. So we get our Curse Lifter achievement. The Lumberjacks pitch together and give us Iron Pickaxe of Reknor. Actually, of Reknor is a very good ego, if I remember rightly. Okay, plus strength and plus... Okay, it's not that great. But plus 1 strength. Strength is very good for us. I like it more than our tentacle thing that we've got right now, but I guess we'll keep that on us. And then he drops... Oh, what's the message? Is it N? L? What is your message log button? God, I looked this up last time I was playing. Oh, was it H? Yeah, there we go. Okay. This is usually the best way, just to go into the message log to see what you've picked up, so you don't have to go through your inventory for it. Oh, we did find some cleansing iron plate armor. Now that we've got the ability to wear plate armor, that will be quite nice. Oh, no. Okay, so this would be great, but watch this. So we put this on. Your arcane abilities have been interfered with. Eyal is a torn world, and the forces of nature can react strongly to the arcane energies that seek to manipulate them. Some items and auras are imbued with anti-magic, a natural energy that disrupts magical abilities and effects. There are even those who have learned to harness anti-magic in their own wild abilities, and who will use them to hunt down and destroy those who practice magic. So beware, caster. It is a hostile world ye wander in. So we don't want to wear this, because anything that is powered by arcane disrupting forces, like this is, will interfere with our arcane abilities, which is most of our abilities. Also, we can transmog this. So we'll throw this back on so we're not just wearing our skivvies. And we will just hit Z a bunch of times so we auto-explore the whole level. Oh, actually, that was a two-handed axe. I should have looked at that. I thought that was one-handed, but yeah, I should have seen if that was good for us. It probably was, but we'll probably find much better than that in the near future. All right, so we have leveled up. We can, let's see, so we can put points into, we're level 9. Can put points into Fiery Torment now, which is quite good. Let's see, this works really well with the various burn synergy talents that we have, but I think that we don't have most of those yet. Oh no, this is the one. So this one gets better the more people are burning around us. And then this one also, it allows us to split. We heal ourselves and then lose that amount of health that we healed for, but then we split that damage with everyone who's burning. So boy. We've gotten most of what we want out of this talent. We need more strike. Oh, yeah, yeah. Reckless Strike is very good. We should probably put a point there, put 2 points here so that we can get close to Thick Skin, start reducing the damage that we take. And then I'm just going to put another point into Reckless Strike, because it's such a huge amount of damage. Even though we take damage from it, that damage is capped. So, you see we went 202%, 244% weapon damage, and then almost 300% next level. That's not plus 300%, so it's 3 times damage, not 4 times damage, but still, it's very, very good. This one, it puts a debuff on our opponents that makes them take more fire damage, but most of our things so far are not dealing much fire damage. So, because this one, I believe, is 100%, this is 100% physical damage. I believe this one is 100% physical damage, so we have like some fire damage here and here, but it's smaller and more subtle. Once we start getting more talents, this will be really good because it's going to penetrate fire resistance. And if they have 0 fire resistance, that'll actually just increase the amount of fire damage by that %, so that's very good. We can now put another point into Weapons Mastery for just a flat 11% additional damage bonus to our weapons, and I think that's going to be pretty good for us, because again, the problem that I had with this class previously was just not having taken enough big damage talents, and slaughtering hordes of little guys, but then dying to one big guy is always what's happened. Alright, so this is Last Hope. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Last Hope, right? I think. Check over here. Yes, Last Hope. Good. So it used to be that Last Hope always had tier 3 stuff in it, but that changed in the last patch to where all of the towns have gear that just scales up with your level. Although there are still some things that you want to keep an eye out for. This one has very good stats on it for us, but it's very expensive, and the mana doesn't do anything, and the spell crit is minimal because most of our things, while a lot of them are magical, most of them are not spells. So if you want, you can get martial training from these guys, so you can learn how to use bows and slings if you don't know how to already. But we're not here for that. We're just here to see what items they have. Yeah, this is another arcane disrupting item, so we definitely don't want that one. The infusion place. Okay, this is not very good for us. Boy, this doesn't scale off of... This scales off of Dex, which is very bad for us, but it's got a huge base speed already. So even though it won't scale very much, if at all, it's just huge to begin with. So I'm going to mark that one as something we'll probably want to come back for. Because that's one thing that this class really, really lacks, is ever since it used to be that you could charge to anywhere. You could just charge and click a square and then go there. That was also changed, I think it was the last patch, to where you have to charge to a creature, which makes sense, sure. But that made it so that this class doesn't really have a good disengage. So having a thing that can just get you out like that is great. In the last Doombringer that I played, where I got killed in Storm Peak, I found boots that let me use the disengage ability, so I could have a guy here, and I'm here, and I jump away from it, and that was fantastic. But we can use the movement infusion for that too. Is this any good? What does Of Corruption do? Curse of Defenselessness. I don't think I want to spend a ton of money on that, because again, I think that's one of those things that has to build up slowly, and that doesn't really work too well for us in my experience. Ooh, I mentioned in my first tome video that blink runes are not very good, but controlled blink ones are. All blink runes are now controlled blink, so you choose where you go, but the range is a lot shorter. So this one we can blink up to 3 within line of sight, and then we get negative status reduction on us, which is cool. But I think I would much rather have the movement infusion, especially because that combos super well with this ability, which just lets us walk through walls, so we can hit walk through walls ability, hit movement infusion, which doesn't take any time. And then if we're moving at 700% speed, we have 700 moves. No, we have 7 moves before this even ticks down once, and then we have another 4. So we can basically make it through anything. This is a store that is not open because the rich merchant who runs it is sad. But, well, no, who am I kidding? This door is not going to open, because you have to do a really dangerous side quest that you only have one chance at to open it. And we're not doing that with this character. I almost never do that on Nightmare, especially. If it's someone that I want to do any unlocks with or want to beat the game with. Sometimes it's fun, but it's usually very... It's fun, but it's pretty much always stupid. And for those of you who play roguelikes, you have had your fair share of deaths to the fun but stupid. Alright, so we just picked up 2 quests there. So we have one, Now for a Grave, where Ungral has asked us to look for his friend's wife, Celia, who's been reported missing. We're not going to look for her for a long time, because, spoiler alert, but she will kill us. Let's see. So now, this guy needs us to bring him a multi-hued worm scale. Okay, it's going to be even harder to find. Chunk of ghoul flesh, that's not too hard. We usually find them in the last dungeon before kind of the second half of the game starts. And a red crystal shard. That'll be very easy to find, because those are all over the place in one of the starting dungeons. The High Elf starting dungeon. Alright, these are all daggers. Nothing to do with that. In addition to the damage on daggers being lower, and then being one-handed, daggers actually scale partially off of your dexterity and partially off of your strength. So you can see base stats. I can't mouse over it because the arrow will go, or the stats will go away. But you see down there it says uses stats 45% and 45% strength, or 45% dex, 45% strength. So our damage scaling on it would be terrible. That's one of the cool things about two-handed weapons in this, is that their base stats are better, their egos are better, and then you see uses stats 120% of strength. So it actually gives you 20% more bonus from your strength than a one-handed sword would, which is quite nice. This is a also not yet open store that will always open at a certain point in the game. Or wait. No, it will not. That's another one that takes a dangerous side quest. Alright, here's the graveyard. We are not going there again. This has minimum level 15. The minimum level requirements in this game are, like, insanely optimistic most of the time. Like, if it says level 15, wait until, like, 25. Alright, so this guy we have not talked to before. After a great deal of pounding, a halfling wrapped in charred smoking robes opens the door. He looks irritated. It's not enough that I work all morning to make a potion that ends up nearly blowing my ass off, but now I've got idiots beating down my damn front door with what sounds like a battering ram, and yes, I heard it, though I can barely make a sound out... hardly make out a bleeding thing with these bleeding, concussed ears. What do you want? So yeah, this guy... Fun guy. Wants us to make another potion. This guy's location is kind of random on the world map, so he's going to have us make... Elixir of Focus. So this potion will give us 2 additional class talent points. So that is probably the strongest of all of them. The one that gives us 2 generic points, that's the one from Last Hope, is also very, very good. Okay, so we needed a green worm, so we've got that already. Retchling Eyeball, that should not be hard either, because those often show up randomly in dungeons, especially around like the Storm Peaks area, I believe. And then Pouch of Luminous Horror Dust. Not to be confused with Radiant Horrors. If you encounter the latter, then I suppose there is always more adventurers. Yeah. That one's going to be hard. Maybe we can luck into one before we have to go to the second act of the game, the second stage of the game. But... often does not work out that way. Alright, so here's a ruined dungeon. It says level 10, so let's ignore that for another 10 levels. Even though we are 9. And as long as we've been shopping... Oh yeah, let's talk to this guy, since in the first dungeon we did, we actually found an arcane-powered artifact that we don't want. So, we can go ahead and get access to Anglewind, the city of the mages. Not that there are any mages in this world, because, you know, that's illegal and everything, but... So we can check out this place. Alright, this is not very good for us. This is not very good for us. That is a lot of words. Oh boy. Okay. So we can reduce people's saves and defense, so they're easier to hit and they're more likely to be statused. Plus 5 strength, 2 cunning, 5 con. We get extra hate from firing mine attacks. That's not a resource that we use. And then it gives us the Bleeding Edge ability for a ton of damage. Holy wow. Okay, yeah. That's the sort of thing that you bookmark and then come back for. Cunning Willpower, both fine. The plus 45 life is actually quite good, as is the life regen and healing mod. So I'm probably not gonna buy that one, and this one is much better for us, I think. But that second one, if we don't find any other good rings, we might come back for later. Decent healing rune. This doesn't scale well with us, but it is pretty, like, minus 508 life is really good for a heroism infusion, so we don't die until we're at negative 508. It only lasts for 5 turns, but then if we're under 0 life, or if we're 0 or less life at the end of that, then we go back up to 1. So we can have a chance to either get healing for after that, to heal ourselves, or just get out or kill everyone and then be okay when we go back up to 1 life. Alright, so here's a pretty good one. This scales off willpower, which again is not great for us, but shielding runes are very good in this game for their ability to prevent damage, instead of having to heal off damage you've already taken. Because if you know you're about to take a big hit, this gives you an extra buffer, whereas healing stuff, if you've already taken the big hit, you might be dead. So, and it's 185 versus currently our stuff is healing us for 50 or 100 over time. So yeah, that one we're probably going to come back for in the near future. I love how you can see these feeds down here of people who have died. And so, yeah, Fuml 2, the level 3 Shalore Shadowblade was cooled to death by Spellblaze Crystal and vaporized into nothingness on level 5 of Scintillating Caves. Why are you on level 5 of Scintillating Caves as a level 3? That is very optimistic. Let's see. Yeah, we don't want stabs. Lightning Storm Wand, not great. Conjuration, not great. That Conjuration shoots out little bolts. So we've got one more town that we want to head to. That would be the High Elf town. Last Hope doubles as both the halfling and human town because they form the Alliance, which is the major military power of Eyal, or at least of Maj'Eyal, which means Western Eyal. Okay, so this is actually a couple of very strong egos, because this deals 170 damage on crit over 5 turns and reduces their healing. It also deals explosion damage on a crit in a radius of 2. I believe radius 2 means out 2 from the center. And radius 1 means like 1 around you. So it's like D&D radius in that way. And then physical crit chance plus, armor penetration plus. This is actually one that I will mark. And if we don't pick up another good one, we're going to have to buy like $600 worth or 600 gold worth of inscriptions before we come back for this. But, you know, if we somehow haven't found something good by that point. This gives a lot of life actually, but this is not worth 40 or not worth 180 gold for us. Cutting is okay for us, willpower is just okay for us, and then, you know, bonuses to summons which we don't have. Teleportation rooms throw you a long ways away, which can save you or can just totally kill you. So, like, you're guaranteed to escape from whatever is around, but you're also very likely to die to whatever you just teleported into. So here's our last elixir quest. We're going to go with the 3 willpower and 3 magic one. We could get 4 of anything, but 3 magic. Magic is one of our 2 main stats, and willpower is very nice, so I'd value the 3 willpower above 1 of something else. I guess we can take a look at the armor shop here, but this is technically better than what we've got now by a decent margin, especially because we're going to want lightning resist in a little while. But again, that's 60 gold. How much gold do we actually have right now? We have 190, and we have a bunch of stuff we want to buy, so I don't think we're buying that. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at our... Oh, wait, how do I check my shopping list? Give me 1 second. I have completely forgotten how to check my shopping list. Alright, so I have to figure out how to navigate the new Steam layout here. Community Hub. Probably. Maybe not. Workshop, there we go. And then I can look for the things I've subscribed to, right? My files. Subscribed items. I did not realize I had this many in here. Star wish list. Okay. Alt-Shift-W. Sweet. That is not Shift. There we go. Okay. I marked this many things. Wow. Okay. Let's do it by type. So we've got, in terms of runes and infusions, that's usually what you want to buy. What you want to buy first. So you've got a very good shielding rune here that I think could replace our regeneration infusion. I think that I would probably replace our healing infusion with this one, and then probably pick up this movement infusion. Oh, actually, maybe I think I like getting this regeneration infusion over this healing infusion, because the downside of regeneration is that it takes a turn, so if you're already low on health, you're likely to die. But if we have this shielding infusion, well, yeah. No, I think these two are actually better, because this is such a shorter cooldown. Although, this one will scale up faster. It's kind of a toss-up. Nope, not that. I will leave this one alone for now. So let's pick up the... Okay, so we're going to go to Engelwin for this one first. Let's do that. And then we'll be ready to do some more dungeon delving. I could do a few more dungeons before I start buying anything, because we might find better things. But I'd rather spend some money to be less likely to die. Oh, right, this is the shielding rune place. Okay. So we'll buy this. We'll use it right now. Oops. And we don't have to replace anything, because if you remember, back when we were level 1, we got a category point, which we used to unlock our 4th inscription slot. So we just get to slap that guy on right here. We'll move all these back. Oops. Okay. Cool. So now let's head back down. And take a look at the next thing on the list. Alright, so we want to go to Last Hope, and we want to go to Chateau. Sounds good. So Chateau. And I believe this is the inscription person here. There we go. Yeah, 164.5, 14-second cooldown. Yep, let's get that one. Use that, and we'll replace our current generic regeneration infusion. This one has a longer cooldown, but it's healing for an extra 64. And it's going to scale up basically every 100 times we level up, because we're going to be putting a lot into magic. So that'll be quite nice. And then finally, alright, so these guys here, the reason we just stopped auto-moving is that is the Ziggur. It is a Ziggur patrol. Here is the town of Ziggur right here. If we try to go in, somehow as a magic user, you feel this place is not safe for you, because those, we were just hearing about the anti-magic people. Ziggur is like the anti-magic Gestapo, and they just walk around and murder you if you smell like mana. Even classes that don't have spells, if they're a race that has a racial ability that is magic-based, like ogres or high elves, they will still just track you down and kill you, which makes them seem like even more problematic than just walking around killing magic users indiscriminately makes them sound. Okay, movement infusion of the duelist. Let's spend about half of our remaining money on that. And we'll replace this baseline healing infusion. Alright, so now we've got status removal, we've got escape, we've got immediate barrier, and we've got good heal, and this is also barrier, and this is also a... it's not a heal, but it stops us from dying. I guess it is a small heal, isn't it? And it lets us survive at negative HP for a little while. One of the cool things about the you don't die until you're at negative X HP is that you don't actually know how much negative HP you're at. So it'll say, I think it just says like negative. I don't remember what it says actually, but it'll tell you that you're under 0. But unless you go in and math it, which you're not going to, let's be honest, or at least I'm not going to. You will just kind of have to feel it out and wonder if you're going to die at any given moment. And to me, that feels awesome. So good on you, Dark God. I love it. Alright, so we've got a unique here. I don't feel like reading all of the things on it, so let's just pull it into us and then deal it a bunch of damage and hopefully survive. Alright, so we found Scumnai, the pair of iron boots. Plus stamina. Stamina each turn gives us nature and lightning damage, gives us darkness resistance, penetration. Virtually nothing on that does anything for us. Yeah. We're just gonna skip that one. So there's the note from the hapless halfling that is traversing the area and trying unsuccessfully not to be spotted and murdered by trolls. And leaving warnings to us, very kindly. I really like fighting trolls because it always seems like they're just very like nothing surprising ever happens when you're fighting basic trolls. Like they're very sturdy, as one could imagine. But that's about it. Oops. Oh, geez. Talk about nothing unexpected happening. Looks like that was largely a matter of poison damage getting stacked on us that I was not noticing. And with trolls, if something unexpected does happen, it is usually that you took more damage than you expected, and nothing other than that. Alright, so technically this is better than what we were wearing, because it gives us temporal resistance. We're not running into many enemies for a while that are going to have temporal damage, but... You notice there was an ability there, an option there that said link to chat, so we can actually, like, if you find something really cool, or something, like, really trolly, something that's almost great, but just something about it completely screws it up for you. You can link it in chat and either brag or commiserate, which is very fun. Wonder, can I... Yes, I can actually pull trees to me with that. The honey trees that spawn bears, as honey trees are wont to, you know, spontaneously generate bears from around them. Alright, so another rare here. Okay, what is Chaos Orbs? That's from a class that I do not believe I've played as. Demented Beyond Sanity. Chaos Orbs. You harness the chaos created by high insanity. Each time you trigger an insanity chaotic effect with a power higher than 13 or lower than negative 13, you gain a Chaos Orb for 10 turns. This effect can only happen once per turn. Each orb increases your damage by 3% and can stack up to 3. Okay. Cool. Has stun and knockback. Oh, okay, this is one of the, like, Cthulhu-y classes, which I've only played as one of. I played it almost all the way through the game. And then a patch came out, and I lost my progress. Which is fine, because patches are awesome, and you can go back and revert, but I just did not choose to. Alright, so what did we find here? This is not better than what we've got here. So you'll see here, this gives maximum Psi. Psi is probably my second favorite class in the game, the Psionic classes, because, like, mechanically, well, I actually find Mind Slayers, which is one of them, to be kind of not too interesting, although it has been revamped, I believe, since I last played it. There's one of those spontaneously bear-generating trees. Oh, there's a ghoul, so maybe we can get our ghoul stuff off of that guy. Yeah, school flesh, honey tree root, green worm, cool. But let's see. What was I talking about before I got distracted by that? Oh yeah, Psy. So yeah, level 10, very nice. So Psy doesn't do anything super interesting as a resource on its own, but it does feed into psionic abilities in a very interesting way, or lots of very interesting ways. Let's do this so we can get our first level of thick skin, get our healing mod, and get our max life up. So that's all great. Oh, we get a category point too. Ooh. But my favorite out of them is actually the Chronomancer classes, because they have the coolest resource in the game. The more stuff they do, the higher their paradox goes, and they can create temporal anomalies accidentally. And usually don't want those, but you have talents that actually make them more likely to help you, and then you have things that like make you more likely to get bigger temporal anomalies and stuff like that. It's so cool. I love those classes. Alright, so we're level 10, so we can unlock one of these because we have our category point now. So we could get our final inscription slot here, but Obliterating Smash is a huge AoE ability. And then Detonating Charge gives us a second charge, as you know the name says. Also, this is nice because it knocks all enemies near your target away, so you can isolate one enemy, which is very good, so you don't get swarmed after running in, which is one of the problems with initiating with a charge. Oh yeah, this one gives us free crits, which is really cool because this makes our opponents, it debuffs them when we crit them. And then this is the one that just buffs all of our key abilities, especially so Obliterating Smash, that's this one that does the big AoE, that gets even bigger. And then is it Reckless Strike? Yeah, Reckless Strike just does more and more damage because it gets resistance penetration for everything. And that lasts for 4 turns after you use it. Again, as I said before, First Skip Shift is very good. It's a good initiate, but I don't think we want the tree for it. Cutlery Spirit actually can be quite good, although it can be very dangerous too, because we take a bunch of damage off of it, but it does remove all detrimental status effects from us, which is very strong. This is an AoE damage thing. If we use this ability that we're not taking... No, sorry. Which one turns us into a demon? Yeah, it's this one. That heals us a little bit, but... and then this just seems really fiddly to me and not great. So, and these are all, like, this is the reason you would take it, and I don't think we need this right now because we have so many inscriptions and we have good defensive abilities. So I'm going to put a point... Oh, we can also do this, where see it says times 1.2 here. So let's use this one as an example. So this is... our level here is times 1.3. So this is actually, it says we have 2 points into this, but because we have 1.3 times mastery, this is actually level 2.6. And next level will be level 3.9, and that would be level 5.2. So we could do this to go up to 1.5, which would mean that we're now at effective talent level 3, and next level would be level 4.5. This is almost never worth it in my experience, except for very, very, very specific builds. So yeah, we're going to unlock Wrath, we're going to put a point into Obliterating Smash. We just unlocked this level, so we need to get to level 11 before we can put a second point in, but that is fine. We can't take this because we chose to take Thick Skin, but that's fine because we also have some other abilities we want to put points into. This ability is quite good once you get a lot of points into it. Ooh, this is actually an instant ability. It doesn't take any time. That's quite good. But yeah, this extends debuffs and shortens buffs on your opponent. Which is sweet. Oh, actually, this is a sustain. That's right. This is a sustainability, so it's just always on. We need some more magic for this, but yeah, I think for now, we can't take this out because, yeah, we need that. Let's put the point into here so that we can unlock Eternal Suffering in a couple levels, just so that we have that ready to go. Next level, we can put a point into here and a point into whatever, and then we can have 1 point for this and a point for Eternal Suffering. That's what we decide to do. I think that sounds fine. We could do this for extra AoE, but as I said before, AoE doesn't seem to be the thing where this class struggles. And actually, maybe I'll put a point into this. to give us the nice additional life buffer there. This is unfortunate because you'll see this takes 100% of a turn, so while it's giving us 122 damage shield, everyone else gets to move when we hit this, whereas our rune is instant, so no one gets to do anything when we hit that ability. So let's do this, so we can debuff people a little bit. This is actually cool too, because as you'll see from the last part, the last green text, the damage that they take from this at the end goes up based on how much damage we dealt to them during the effect. So when you put it onto one really big person, it can stack up to deal tons of damage. Alright, let's actually leave our AoE here, because that's kind of one of our core abilities. We'll put our, like, debuffy thing over here. That sounds good. Did I spend all my points and everything? Yes, I did. Okay, good. Oops. Okay, so we actually have two guys that we really want to close with quickly here, but we cannot do so with both of them because our engages after the first are too short range. But can do this, and I'm actually going to hit my shield rune. Okay, all taken care of. One thing that's very good in this game about using both runes and infusions, I'm going to hit this rune and then hit our Reckless Strike so that the rune absorbs the damage from our Reckless Strike. Cool, we killed it, didn't take any damage from the shield. It still has almost its entire bar left. But there is the, when you hit an infusion, you get infusion saturation, and when you hit a rune, you get rune saturation. And these, every time you hit one of them, this is refreshed and goes up, and each one of these increases the cooldown of all your subsequent rune and infusion activations, respectively. Which means that you are liable to, if you hit like rune after rune after rune, just be locked out of them. But if you have both runes and inscriptions, you can hit one of each of them and not increase the cooldown of the others. So, when possible, it's nice to do that. Ooh, Sun Paladin. That is great. So we have a Lost Sun Paladin here. Lead on, I will protect you. I lost myself in this place. I know there's a recall portal left around here by a friend, but I have fought too many battles and I fear I will not make it. Will you help me? Of course I will. Yes is always the correct option, unless you want to betray someone to Ziggur because you're a terrible person and should be ashamed of yourself. But, as that is not the case, at least not in this playthrough, we will be... where are you going? Excuse me. Excuse me. Please come back. Thank you. Alright, let's charge this guy so that we can start fighting it before our friend gets into attack range. Just got some generic enemies here. Oh, wow. Taking a lot of damage off him, though. Oh, it's because that guy is a Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy is... This is the deadliest Poison Ivy I've ever seen. Like, everyone in this world has a deathly will kill you in seconds reaction to Poison Ivy, it seems like. Alright, looks like we got her. Thank you, friend. I don't think I would have survived without you. Please let me reward you. Oh, wait. I thought these guys gave us a self-heal, but I guess I was wrong about that. Okay, not as good as I thought, but let's see what we get off this. So we can get either 5 strength or 5 magic, and both of those are obviously fantastic, because those are our 2 key stats. Other than that, so this gives us 3% physical damage resistance, 9 physical save, and 3 armor, plus 15% armor hardiness. That is really good. And this is a sustain that costs positive energy. And positive energy is a thing that we don't even care about, but we can sustain it just fine. Excuse me. Chant of Fortitude. Chant the Glory of the Sun, gaining 9 mental save and increasing your maximum life to by 10%, currently 32. So we get 32 life off of this, just for free, basically. This one we get physical damage resistance, physical saves, armor, and armor hardiness. I think that Chant of Fortress is going to be better for us. Because, well, this gives us extra life, and 10% extra life is more life than 3% physical damage resistance. We're also getting saves and armor hardiness off this, and getting damage reduction is a force multiplier with your healing. And we have a lot of healing abilities, and our barriers, which also damage reduction stacks with. So if we have 100 damage shield, it's actually 103 damage shield, and then when we're healing ourselves back up, the damage that's incoming is being reduced, so our effective HP goes up, or the effective healing is effectively going up by 3% as well. So I think this is what we want to take. So let's do that. We could also start training in Celestial Chance, but we need to get a category point to open that up, and I don't think it's going to be worth it. So let's go into our sustainable abilities here, and we can right-click this and say auto use when available. And now that will just always turn on whenever it's not on cooldown, which should be never. Which is awesome. And so the 3% damage resistance on that, we spent a point here to get 4% damage resistance, and nothing else. So with that and all the extra stuff, that is worth a point and more just on its own. So yeah, that is very nice for us. Even on classes, like, you know, where we have all these runes already, even then I do like to find an ability, an escort ability when I can, that lets us heal ourselves. Okay, there's the boss, so let's be careful here. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's continue being careful. Oop. Okay, there we go. But, what was I saying there? Keep distracting myself. I have legitimately no idea what I was just talking about. Talking about thick skin and damage resistance and all that stuff. Oh, someone in chat can remind me. Alright, so, ooh, we found Prox's Lucky Halfling Foot. So, yeah, so this is the guy that was leaving the notes behind, and we have found his foot, and it belonged to Prox. Mirror Image Rune, that's very interesting. Alright, so here's a worse movement rune than the one we just got. I'm going to put this on even though there's enemies around, because they're going to get closer, but they won't be able to do anything else. And I don't want to accidentally disenchant that. I think I'm going to put that in normal inventory. Now this, I'm not sure. I'm going to put this in the normal inventory, but I don't think I'm going to use it. Oh, that's right. I was talking about even when I have like all these runes that I can heal myself with, and abilities that I can, you know, reduce damage with, I still like getting, if I can, one self-heal ability from an escort if my class lacks it, because that basically opens up a rune slot most of the time. So I can have, like, I could put that heroism infusion on or something like that, or have an additional status curing rune. Let's go over here so we can rest while that guy gets closer to us. Alright, so we get Yvuldana the Scumblight. I love the random name generation in this game. It's amazing. Alright, so this is +2 willpower and some mental save. We're going to put on plus will, dex, strength, and 31 max life, and we can see invisible things at a range of 3, so that's awesome. Also, we got a level up here that I haven't spent my stuff on yet. I think that this one does not get a bigger radius as you put your first couple points in. Once you get this level 5, this will reduce our enemy's armor. So do we want that more, or do we want to just keep on pumping up this huge... Okay, so this is going up by 33%. This is going up... I think I want to just keep pumping up Reckless Strike, honestly. And then I'll pump this so we can open up some more things, and I'll pump this so that we can open up some more things again. Alright, with our generic point, what do we want to do now? So we can't do either of these yet. This one we need more strength, this one we need a higher level. These abilities are both very good, so I'm going to take this one now, and the next level we can pick this one up. We will need 2 more strength, but we can do that. So this one will give us extra spell power, which affects all of our spell abilities. Many of our physical things actually do key off of spell power. We get extra Vim, which is our primary resource, and then we get basically 6% bonus damage off of that just on its own. That'll go down as we spend Vim, but our abilities can also give us Vim back. And then this one is some very strong defensive abilities. It does cost Vim. That is the issue there. So you can deplete. It costs 15 to sustain it, and then we will lose Vim as we absorb damage with it. And of course, as we lose Vim, its abilities get weaker. Alright, we are not going to finish this place off, however, because Bill, the final boss, is pretty tough. Alright, so do I want this? Ooh, this is actually a significant upgrade, because it's the exact same thing as ours right now. Oops. But it also gives us willpower and magic, and spell power. So let's do that. This will not transmog because it's in our normal inventory, so we'll do that manually. And then we'll recall out. And we're still alive. Knock on wood. Okay, so we are about halfway done with the tier 1 stuff. More than that, because we also did our racial starting, or our class-based starting zone. Let's do the scintillating caves next. That's kind of the order I like to do this in. Ooh, so we've got alternate scintillating caves here. So a lot of the dungeons in this game, especially in the first 2 tiers of Act 1, have alternate layouts, and you'll either see that it looks very different or get a note like this when it looks very similar. So scintillating caves, the levels get smaller, but there's more. So it's like a taller but tighter dungeon. I'm not sure how much else changes other than that. But there are some like alternate core pull, which is probably the next one we're going to do, where it goes from like... It's like twice as hard if it's the alternate one. It just gets ridiculously tough. Alright, so this guy looks like a... Yeah, okay, so this snake... So your random rares and elites in this game, some things are set, but some of them are randomized, and this one is a psionic. So it's got this skate ability where it moves 43% faster, but if it gets hit by something, it gets pushed around, which is sweet. Telekinetic grasp, so it can reach out and grab stuff. I don't remember what Beyond the Flesh does, and it's a lot of words, so I'm not gonna... Oh, it looks like it's a stat buff thing. Kinetic R, so this is damage reduction. Telekinetic Smash, kind of what it sounds like. And then a bunch of generic stuff, and its poisonous bite ability. So, yeah, it is... I usually don't... Ooh, well, that's not cool. Let's cure that. Oh, that was easy. Generally don't read all of our elites' stuff, but it's fun to take a look at it sometimes and see what abilities they have and talk about what they do. Okay, so this will actually give us more strength than we have right now, but we'll lose 31 max life and our C invisible. Yeah, I think that I prefer the extra life and... I don't like the looks of this. Let's use... Oh, not yet. Yep, that... this is bad news. We've got a really tough enemy around here. Maybe I should just try to find the stairs and make it to the next level. That is often the best plan in this game, is to not fight the really tough guys. Oops. Alright, we've got a big vault of creatures down there, so let's charge back up this way so that we're out of their range. hit a regen rune, or infusion. Okay, there we go. So yeah, most vaults in this game are things that you actually have to open up. And it'll like tell you that, like, basically this is a vault, watch out. But some of them are sort of like... What is that? Some of them are just things like this, where it's like more of just like a room with a bunch of creatures in it. So I'm going to stand over here and let these guys filter through to me, because most of them are pretty weak, and I'm not too worried about what's going on. And then if something really tough shows up, we've got the stairs right here, and we can just bugger out. Plus, we've got some good escape options at the moment. I'm going to grasp this guy up here. Oh, we just killed him right out. That works fine. All right, our infusion saturation is over, so I'm going to hit the infusion again, and it looks like we've cleared the place out. Almost. Now we have. All right, cool. I wonder what was spawning those. I was thinking it was one of the, like, kind of tough horrors. You do get... Ooh, that's nasty. We are disarmed at the moment. You do sometimes get out-of-depth enemies in this game, where you just find someone who is tougher than, you know, the place you're in usually has enemies with that toughness. That was a terrible sentence. I should be ashamed of myself, but I think you got the idea. Ooh, actually, getting a lightning resist ring here, while it's not generally too good. Well, one, it's +7 armor, which is great. And then two, that is going to be very nice in a little bit. I guess we'll put this on, because we don't have any reason not to. And I think I just want to put this on. It'll give us more fatigue, but fatigue isn't really an issue for us. It'll make our abilities cost more. It's 10% more fatigue, but we go from 4 armor and 2 defense, which is like resisting or not getting hit, to just a straight up 7 armor, which generally is better because you get diminishing returns on defense, and the temporal resistance thing isn't really relevant at all. Alright, so let's head down. My phone just dinged at me again, so let's... get that guy quiet. Alright, so we've got a rune of some sort over here. Alright, ooh, okay, so this guy is a summoner. So this rich flame spitter here is a creature that was just summoned by this large brown snake. So it has summoner abilities. So we're going to go over here and cleave everyone down, and then hit that guy with our big hit, and then finish it off. And we picked up stamina each turn, physical save, crit multiplier, changes damage plus mind, burn arcane resources when we hit our opponent. So if I were playing, if I were really power gaming this out, I would keep that, because there are some times when you really want that arcane resource burn ability, and most of those things come on arcane disrupting abilities, but this one is just made by a master, which is another one of the like potential. Okay, there's an arcane disrupting, so we don't want that. Otherwise I would have taken this for the healing mod, because ours literally does nothing. I should probably just do this. Where are you? Oh, then actually take it off. So yeah, normally we can't use things that burn arcane resources, but that one we can. Blink Rune of the Warrior. That might actually be worth holding on to if we want a Blink Rune later, because that's going to scale up by the time we would want it. Let's do that. Okay, we got a rogue of some sort down there, so let's clear these guys out before we go back up here, so that we're not fighting multiple people at once. We are disarmed again. God, I hate rogues. I mean, that just kind of comes to the territory of being a rogue, right? Like, there's no game, there's no game where you're ever like, God, I just love fighting rogues. Oh, good God. We're disarmed again. So this is pretty not good. What do we have here? Lesser Vampire. Oh, we have our weapon back. That's good. So I'm actually going to step over here to where we have less frontage. So we can only get hit from 2 spots unless they step around us, which is not likely because they're not that smart. And then we can finish off our enemies one at a time. There we go. So yeah, anyway, point of all that was that if I were trying really hard to optimize everything, I would hold on to that arcane resource burn thing, but I'm not, so we're going to hit our movement infusion here so that we can close all the way in, and then we will hit this guy as hard as we can repeatedly, and hopefully it will die. Iron Dagger, Staff, don't really care. Like I mentioned before, you can actually do staff builds on this class, but it requires some pretty specific stuff, and I'm not 100% like up on how to do it well. Which is one of the cool things about this game. Like, there are things that are sort of a little counterintuitive, and you kind of have to like play very specific ways to really like make them work super well. Man, there we go. But the reward kind of like clever. Ooh, I actually want to use that one. Oh yeah, so our wish list tells us when we can afford things that are on our wish list, which is great. All right, so this does not scale up at all. It gives us 484% movement speed. This one gives us 693. But the reason I'm considering it is because it has half the cooldown. So we can only get about 5 movement instead of about 7, but we can use this twice as often. And I think that might actually be worth it, but I'm going to hold on to it for now. And I'll think about it, and I'll see how I'm using my movement infusion on this character. I think that because... Well, I think that with the fact that we don't have much other mobility, we probably want the mobility that we have to be pretty strong, instead of trying to, you know, we can use the movement infusion and then use something else, then use the movement infusion again or something like that. That seems less likely to happen. This is not a nice looking situation to be in. Okay, there we go. As you've probably noticed, things can go from looking totally fine to looking like you are absolutely dead very quickly in this game. Ooh, this is a rare again. I missed that. So we are currently... Oh man, we are confused for a long time. We don't have anything that removes confusion. Actually, being confused in a position like this, where we're like running into a wall... Oh, we're also stunned. Jeez. Okay, well we can remove that, but we only have 2 turns left on the stun, so I think instead I'm just going to weather it by hitting some defensive things. But if you're going to be stunned, it's good to be stunned in a position where you're like in a corridor like this, because if you... Basically, when you hit a button, you have a chance of just like walking in a random direction. But if the random direction you walk is an illegal direction for you to move into, it just doesn't do anything. So you have a higher chance of doing the thing you actually want to do, because a lot of the times when you would do the thing that you don't want to do, you end up, nothing happens, and your opponents don't get a move. Yeah, these worms are a little out of depth, I feel like, here, for the usual difficulty. Well, I guess we're in the alternate version. Maybe the worms are part of the alternate scintillating caves. How close are we to leveling up? Ooh, 97% of the way through level 11. Very nice. Alright, there we go. Okay, Marksman's Copper Ring of Power, what do you do? Meh. Not super interested. Okay, so we have unlocked this stuff down here. What do we want? So we can get counterattacks. This is good against big hordes of little guys, I guess, but again, that's not really something we struggle with that much. Because we've been seeing, even with just 3 points in here and 1 in here, we're blowing stuff up all the time. When we kill one person, it's setting off chain reactions that severely weaken everyone else. And that completely destroy the battle station. This means level 14 for... So I think we're going to go with Eternal Suffering. So we'll get up to 36 strength. Drop that last point into... maybe Constitution? I guess we might want Blazing Rebirth. We don't really want this until we have more ability to spread burns around, because we're just liable to die anyways from this. Let's put that point into there. I'm going to put this into Constitution, because we already have a good amount of magic. We can probably get whatever we want from that. And then I'll put this point into here so that we have a good defensive sustain going on. Let's see, how much does this take? 28. Oh, that's a lot. Yeah, so we have another good sustain here. And then we can start buffing up our, bread and butter damage abilities even further. Sounds good. Alright, so go into here. And we will put this on auto use when available, and we will put this on auto use when available. Now, this is going to be a fair amount of sustain cost. So our max is going to go from 152 to 132. Yeah, to 117. Oh, well, that wasn't good. But that feels okay to me. We're getting a lot of benefit out of that. Let's shield and then big hit that guy, and then big hit him again. Cool. Yeah, and you're seeing, especially with this class, because we have this, deal a crap ton of damage, but then take a ton of damage, that just being able to hit our shield and then immediately smash someone is super good. Alright, that's it for this level. It's actually a pretty good mental wild infusion, and those are generally the one that I want the second most. Alright, so this deals 6 damage, darkness damage when we hit with it. This deals acid damage, plus also gives us more strength. So yeah, let's put those on. This is not Dungeons & Dragons, where everything resists acid for some reason. I don't like the looks of those projectiles. I'm going to move over here into the range of an even tougher guy, apparently. Okay, so let's charge this guy so that that projectile to the north won't hit us, because it'll be out of its destination range. And then let's go back around here, where I think we killed most of the guys that filed through that way. Sure did. Alright, good. And this is where I really wish I had a wand or something that could let me see around corners, which there are a fair number of those. Or an ability, which there is an ability that lets us do that. It is all the way over here. It would take us 14 more cunning and 3 generic points to get it. It's very good. It's a very good ability. But it's very expensive, and you can get it off of rogue escorts, so I'm going to try to get it off of a rogue escort. This guy's confused us again. We have no way of removing confusion, which is why I really like getting a mental infusion, a mental curing infusion at some point, because you can see how good it is. Or there's a unique item that does a very good job of clearing that too. Okay, 2 cunning, 5 willpower. This might be worth putting on, because the psi stuff won't do anything, but currently our stuff is giving us stamina, which isn't that big of an issue, and getting cutting and willpower is actually pretty good, and that actually gives us stamina. So yeah, we actually gain stamina by putting those on, along with gaining Vim. Well, it doesn't give us Vim. We're still at 117. Yeah, huh. Well then. Prove me wrong, I guess, game. Fine. Alright. Someone just teleported, I have no idea where. So we're just not going to worry about it. And you'll see how pulling that guy to me was actually really good there, because I pulled him past his own projectile. So not only was I able to... okay, let me go around this corner. Not only was I able to kill the guy and then move away from his projectile, but if I hadn't killed him, his projectile would have hit him in the back. Which is... Okay, one, it's awesome when you do it to your enemies, and two, it sometimes happens to you and you kill yourself with your own shot. And boy, you do not feel so hot when that happens. Oh, this is unique. Okay, or rare, so I should have been paying more attention there, but we'll do our AoE. We will become disarmed. We will bravely run away while we're waiting for the disarm to fade. Oops, we can't get out that way. Oh, we could get out that way, though. That was silly of me. Okay. So now we'll rest. We're going to... What just hit us? Oh, I hit the wrong ability. Alright. Wild speed. Wait, I didn't actually... Yes, I did. Okay. Okay, so no longer over there. That was probably that thing's projectile. Nope, it's a different guy. Huh. $59 damage shielding rune. Found the guy, but then he teleported. Wrong guy. What do we have here? Okay, this is another... Oh, this is an Oozemancer. I don't even know how Oozemancers work, but apparently they work by... We are silenced, and we are brain locked, so we can't use some of our abilities, and we can't use any of our spells, which is almost everything that we have. That is really not cool. Let's start regenerating here, and then let's shield and big smash, and then slightly littler smash, and then AoE smash. Why can we not... What is... We have 40% chance of failing spells, and a lot of our smashes, I think maybe all of our smashes even, are spells, so let's just run into them a few times. That also includes our runes, so... oh god, that's a spell too. Alright, we're going to run like this. And then this is going to come off cooldown, and we'll heal ourselves. And now we can use spells again. And this guy's healed all the way back up, but that's fine. We're in a much better position now. God, I hate Oozemancers. This is the first time I've fought one, and I've learned that I hate them. Thank you. Oh, and our stuff is getting turned off too by the anti-magic forces that those guys have. Dex and Constitution hat. That is not as good as the really cool dwarf hat that we have right now. Alright, let's heal back up. Get our sustains back on. We really need to kill something with our main ability here, the Draining Assault, to get our Vim back up. Killing stuff restores our Vim, but also just hitting with Draining Assault restores our Vim. So, there's that guy again. Okay. Let's hit that. Oh, jeez. Okay. Sure. AoE. Okay, kill everything. Good start. Good. Good, good. And we're back to full Vim. Awesome. Zuharagar. Nope, nothing we want there. I think there are 5 levels to the alt scintillating caves. I think these shimmering crystals, yeah, these must be the one of the specific things to this version of the alt caves. Oh yeah, compared to things like alt corpool, alt Maze, which is terrible for spellcasters. Yeah, here's the boss. This is considerably less terrible to deal with. Alright, I'm actually going to go over here and kind of corner myself, but this will let me kill pretty much all of the ads really quickly. And then it'll be a lot easier to not be able to see anything. Okay. That's physical conditions. Let's try to remove it with this. Awesome. Blinds in this game are so nasty because you literally can't see. Like, it's not just a, like, ability debuff. It's you physically can't tell what's going on. Alright, this is dealing a lot of damage, so let's hit this damage shield. There we go. Awesome. Generic Copper Ring, Flame Rot, and Serpent's Glare. So two things that I think are total garbage for us. Serpent's Glare is a Mind Star. That's the thing that Psionics and Naturalists usually use, of which we are definitely neither. And then Cunning Willpower, Mind Power, spits a 30 damage bolt of flame when we're dealing... How much damage are we dealing? Damage 52 or 49. The +3 means +3 since the last time you opened the dialogue. Alright. Oh yeah. Well, let's Rod of Recall out of here. So this might actually be decent if we know we're going up to a... We know we're going up against a spellcaster. That Torque can let us silence them for 4 turns while dealing a decent amount of damage and also increasing our damage penetration. So that's pretty cool. But I think with that, I'm going to... I'll just explore this little spot here. Let's take a quick look at our shopping list, if there's anything we want to pick up right now. How much money do we have? 251. Gold is over here. I have an alternate UI setup, so it's kind of like an old school panel here, which I like more than the more like asset rich one. It's just clear for me to see. So we can get anything except for this copper ring, just the Cunning Willpower, Life Regen Max. Oh yeah, that's really good. This is kind of an afterthought. We've got everything else. This we don't really have room for right now. These, this Healing Infusion's gotten pretty good with our extra strength we've picked up. So this is 15 seconds, 120-second cooldown, instant. This is 14 seconds. This is actually, these are usually longer cooldown than healing, but in this case, this one's a shorter cooldown than healing. So, yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a toss-up there, maybe. Type. Got 178 extra damage on crit. What's our crit chance now? We have pretty decent crit. We might want to pick that thing up. And we can get more pretty easily. So physical crit chance is 14%. And then by level 18, so 5 levels from now, we can get this, where when we kill something, we crit twice automatically. This will give us additional crit chance for every point we put into it. So yeah, it might be worthwhile to actually pick that guy up once we've picked up the... I mean, I think the first thing we want to get is... which ring was the better one? Strength, Cunning, and... Oh, okay, yeah, that one. Strength, Cunning, Con. Much better than Cunning Willpower and Max Life, because this is more life than this. Well, actually, this has 11% life mod on it, or healing mod on it, too. I was going to say that the healing mod from the Constitution makes it better, but I think... Yeah, this is really good. Oh, it also... Oh, wait, it deals damage on ranged hit. That's unusual. Oh, and it does a ton of damage when you activate it. Yeah, okay, so I'll probably pick that one up next. But I think we're going to leave that for next time, and we will leave off here and to head over to the Heart of the Gloom, which will be the first of the sort of like second half of the Tier 1 dungeons that we do. So we're level 13 now. We've made it halfway through Tier 1, which is great. We went through an alternate dungeon just now, which is always exciting and exhilarating. And, oh yeah, we have to spend our points here. We should do that. And yeah, all that cool stuff. So, what do we want here? We want to take this so we can start getting our Blazing Rebirth game going. Do we want to... I think I want to take this, because 9% damage is really good for one generic point, and we can't get thick skin for a while yet, so... Ooh, that's actually a lot of extra damage reduction. Plus it increases... oh, this is the one that increases our max Vim. Yeah, these are both very good. I think I'll put this in here so that I get those opened up. And then I'll put these in here so that we're within one level of getting Blazing Rebirth. I think I would rather have this because, I mean, one, this does have an offensive benefit. But yeah, that's so much. And this armor is scaling linearly, so from 4 to 8 to then 12. And then... yeah, we actually got from 6 to 13% for the Vim damage reduction. 17 to, or from 7 to 16 and then to 24 after that. So that's actually scaling up rather than down, which is usually the case. So that seems very good. Although again, that will drain our Vim, so we have to keep an eye on that. Maybe we'll want to put some more points into this to increase our Vim gain. Actually, we should probably just do that right now because we have been having Vim trouble. Okay, so let's do that. This is a good nuke. That's an extra 24% damage because each one of its 2 hits, and then that gives us life back, which is great, and then it gives us Vim, which we kind of need right now. Sweet. All right. I think that will do it for tonight. That's just all of our sustains coming back on. So, thank you very much for joining. Love this game. It's so much fun. Check it out. It's free. Tales of Maj'Eyal / Tome 4. Praise Dark God. So yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you for, yeah, just for being there and, yeah, for being with us. So, I'm going to go to bed. I'm very tired. This has been Ben with the Tiger's Den. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Give us a comment. Let us know if you liked it and what you would like us to see cover in the future. Chris has been on a Luigi's Mansion tear lately, so head over there, check that out. But other than that, we will see you next time. And until then, have a good night. Bye-bye.